I was trying to hop for all of you, and then I remembered I'm 5'3", and I just can't go up such big steps in a dress. So thank you for waiting. My name is Laura. I work at the State Department, and my presentation could have otherwise been titled something I never thought I'd be able to do in a giant building full of people in suits. But I really care about development, and I really care about the environment. And I said, oh gosh, I need to go to AID and do work there and work on small projects. And I was actually able to have an incredible time working with multilateral development banks because I realized in interviewing that they actually have some environmental and social policies, and they have a lot of money they spend on infrastructure. But sometimes their environmental and social policies just popped up in response to public pressure about pesticides or indigenous peoples or this or that, and so there wasn't cohesion. So now the banks are working to bring that together, and the World Bank's actually revamping their safeguards, and so they're trying to create structure which just creates more maps and more confusion and bureaucracy, so you're thinking, why did I even start this, and what can I possibly do to improve it? It's actually been pretty amazing to understand how involved the State Department and Treasury is, and so I started on this negotiation for safeguards in the environmental and social space. I thought I'd be over by the end of my fellowship, but you'll see where we are in the arrow, and I don't hope that it'll be done at the end of the graph there on the page. So I'm going to be staying in my office to keep working on it because, you know, it's important and we do want to get it right. And to sort of help us frame those negotiations on environmental and social safeguards, I've had some pretty awesome trips. So one was actually to help us review projects in Nepal for large-scale hydropower, but also to frame how we talk about that in the policies. So I actually went out to Nepal. We did a 3-week hike in the mountains, something you'd never hear the State Department do. We visited villages, we visited communities. We learned that there's all sorts of languages being spoken, and we learned that there's a really rich ecosystem. These are places that, you know, not even the bank, as they were thinking about it, knew about, because they would fly into the site with a helicopter and then fly out. So without hiking, you just wouldn't have been able to see them. And we really informed the process of not just designing these projects and sort of helped engage with the banks as they thought about development, but we really informed the sorts of policies that we need to make sure that the banks take on to be able to address these multicultural spaces where every village speaks a different language and has a different culture. And then we came back to DC, looked at a lot of paper, and then made it back to Malawi, which is a completely different environment to operate in and has a completely different ecosystem. Doug, who is a former AAAS fellow and now works at Treasury with me on this, said this was my glamour shot, but I promise you we were very sweaty and tired that day, so it wasn't quite as glamorous as it comes out on the picture. But the idea is, you know, the communities are different wherever the World Bank and multilateral development finance operates. And so one-size-fits-all solutions just aren't going to work, but me visiting these sites isn't going to lend much more information than what's already available at the banks. So we really want to make sure that they take on good principles and that they really finance and think about you know, how they treat their own professionals who are actually implementing these projects and thinking about environmental and social risk at the bank. So thank you for your time and your attention, and I guess I'll talk to everybody at the reception. Thanks a lot.